Our movie is set in 2065, and it hasn't rained in years. Devastating climate change and harsh weather is causing Earth to become barren and uninhabitable. We see a futuristic car driving down a creepy road at night. Junior wakes up to find a bright light shining through his window coming. He checks it out and calls his wife, Hen, to ask if she is expecting anyone, but neither of them knows who it might be since they don't get many visitors out here.
They must be lost.
Junior grabs his gun and she protests, but he mentions it's empty, so she goes to open the door. He introduces himself as Terrence, and he knows both of their names.
Is that Henrietta?
He works for a company called Outermore, and he's here to try and relocate them off Earth.
I think he means living in space.
They invite him inside, and he seems fascinated by such an old house. He shows them an inspiring ad campaign about how this is a special moment in human history.
I got chosen. I'm going.
As Hen goes to get them something to drink, Terrence talks to Junior alone, seemingly trying to get on his good side. He's here to tell them that they've made the shortlist to go leave on the space station. Junior says no, and mentions Hen would hate it, as she's never even been on an airplane.
You won't get water like that in the city.
She argues with him, but Terrence clarifies that only one of them has been chosen. Junior doesn't want to go, but Terrence suggests that he might not have a choice.
I'm talking about you here, Junior. Only you.
There are some tough tests coming, and it will take 2 years, so there is no need to panic now.
Let's not focus on the rule of law here.
Terrence leaves after that, like nothing much has happened.
Look after that. Be Henrietta for me.
They go to bed, but she doesn't want him sleeping with her
On something. How did you know it was a man?
I don't know, is that
because she doesn't feel the same connection with her husband anymore, although she doesn't say anything. Junior is suspicious about her having prior knowledge of Terrence, but she tells him she doesn't. They continue to argue, and she asks him to sleep in the guest room.
Just beautiful.
The next morning, she wakes up to the sound of loud music. She goes down to the basement where they have stored her old piano that she never plays. Junior, meanwhile, is headed off to his job at the chicken farm. She works at the local diner as a waitress. The lands are barren and desert, and it takes a lot to water and grow anything. As night falls, they're talking outside about Terrence when he tells her to not wear that shirt anymore.
You were wearing it the day we met.
They live together, but it is clear that they're not happy. She later finds him asleep in the guest bedroom, and they hold each other because even while living together, they've been feeling like they're drifting apart. They wake up the next morning, and it seems like they've gotten closer. She is worried about him being so distant recently,
what am I to you?
but he assures her that he still loves her. She is in the shower as she looks out the window at Junior loading some wood onto the truck, and she has a beer out on the deck. Hen likes playing her piano, but he doesn't like to listen. A year later, a giant sandstorm is blowing through the farmhouse, and she is watching it while he sleeps. She goes out after the storm to find Terrence in his car, asleep. He's there to convince Junior about leaving home for space,
You receive handsome compensation.
because it is a very rare opportunity. Junior has officially been accepted, so Terrence is there to stay with them, since it will now be only just a couple of weeks before Junior leaves for space. This upsets her, but she can't do anything about it. She can't stop herself from crying. And Junior sees this and follows her into the house as she is throwing away all of his old stuff because she is lashing out at the fact that circumstances are beyond her control. He is worried about leaving her here alone,
This is happening faster than I was expecting.
but it all stops when she finds a beetle in the closet that Junior seems to be fascinated by. At the chicken plant, he's working like he does on any normal day, and so is she, but he shows up at her diner.
Let's just be together. Like, right now.
They drive through the giant fields together, holding hands. They get to the pink marshes, and they walk around as they talk and lay down in the shade as they stare up at the blue sky. The wind starts picking up, and Hen spots a horse. She goes up to it and is petting it when Junior sees something and runs towards it. She chases him, but he runs past the horses towards a burning house. He was about to go inside when he got tackled by some men. The next day, he wakes up pretty hurt, and he is worried about her, but she is fine,
You're confused. You hurt yourself.
because according to her, there were no men. That's when Terrence comes in and tells him about how he went to the hospital to get surgery, but he can't remember any of this.
She operated on your injured shoulder. The tendon.
Later that night, Terrence prepared a wonderful dinner to congratulate them for making it this far. Terrence suggests that they will ensure that she has company while he's gone. They're developing an AI clone replacement that is an exact copy of Junior. This is why Terrence is here, to study Junior's every move.
But do you really want to leave her here?
Junior suggests a fight with Terrence to see who's man enough, and Hen argues with him, asking him to stop. Terrence laughs at their argument, and she leaps across the table and smacks Terrence in the face. Later, she is watching the news as Junior reclines on a chair. After, Terrence and Junior are taking a ride, and when Terrence asks if Junior has ever hurt his wife, he drives off the road to scare him. They get to his work, and Terrence records him doing his job. They later check his physical condition, and Terrence does some tests.
You have to get used to these tests.
But then Hen shows up asking questions. But Terrence makes him leave and tells him to inform him about everything concerning Hen to get a better understanding of their marriage. Then he asks if he's cheated on her, but he never has, and neither has she. Terrence tells him to be comfortable with her having desires, but he gets up and leaves. Junior finds her playing the piano, and they have a conversation about their lives. He sits in his chair thinking about their wedding.
What if the rain never comes?
The next day, he wakes up to find recordings of her talking to Terrence. He also finds some pictures of her in his bag. She's talking to Terrence when he mentions the piano. As they talk about it, Junior finds all the holes that Terrence uses to spy on them. He takes off his patch and sees that he doesn't have a scar there.
It's as if he's replaced me with someone.
He smells the pillow because it smells like her and falls asleep, but Terrence is there, pinning him down as he strangles him. Then Junior wakes up in bed again. Maybe it was a dream? He goes around to check on Terrence, who's listening to her playing the piano. She's having a drink, and so is Terrence, smoking and dancing to the music while she watches him. They're having a lot of fun.
It's hard to get to know. Nearly impossible to forget.
But Junior doesn't like how close they are getting. She then gets up to dance with Junior and catches him, but he says to her,
I don't want you two talking alone together anymore.
She goes to change the music. She continues to dance and drink. Meanwhile, Terrence is doing more tests with Junior as they talk about how he's been acting differently and put a bracelet in him to measure his hydration levels. Terrence gives him some advice. Every relationship depends on open and honest communication.
Your relationship depends on open and honest communication.
Junior sits in front of him and tells him about all the disgusting things that humans do. Junior is angry about everything and starts punching the wall, and when Hen hears this and tries to come in, Terrence stops her because this is exactly what he wanted to see. Later in the shower, Junior is trying to take off the bracelet as his hands bleed. He starts to laugh and cry at the same time and feels his mind going crazy. He is staring at himself when Hen comes in and hugs him for comfort. After some time, she gets in her car with Terrence and drives away, leaving Junior at home to clean the blood from the wall. He is sipping some water as he looks out over the fields and suddenly rushes back inside. He starts loading his gun because he sees some people running around outside. He goes out and starts shooting at them as they run away from him. He starts to chase them, but they take off in a flying ship. One of the men sedates him and puts something in the back of his neck. Junior wakes up with the device blinking as he heads back to his house. He sees Terrence talking to the men in suits with Hen as they get inside. He follows them quietly and makes his way towards the house. He gets there, sneaks up the stairs, and hears a recording of his previous conversation with Terrence. He goes to the bathroom and sees Hen listening to the recording that Terrence plays her. She always felt that she didn't belong here, but she never had the courage to let all of this go and follow her feelings. She wants to go to places where other people, new people, would be around all the time.
Somewhere that just doesn't feel like it's dying.
Junior is devastated as he hears Terrence talk to her about helping her relocate after Junior leaves. She mentions she would leave him a blank letter that would say nothing and say everything at the same time. Junior shows up with a crazy look on his face and confronts Terrence.
You want my wife, don't you?
She takes him in her hands and calms him down, but he starts singing their song until he falls over. The next morning, Hen is cutting her hair and she sits in the dark until she sees the bright car headlights flash outside. Junior comes in to hug her because he's missed her.
Good to be back.
Terrence is also there because it is time for Junior to leave. He goes to a room to find a bunch of people with computers and someone lying down on the ground. It's Junior. He's tied to the ground, and that's when Terrence mentions that the replacement Junior is the one who's been going crazy, and the real Junior has just come home from space and is standing there watching all of this.
You're the replacement.
The replacement Junior was brought here a year ago, the same day that Junior left to live at the station. He was activated by the car headlights the first time we met Terrence, and Hen is listening while Terrence tells him that his memory was constructed by talking to the real Junior for months. He's still screaming for Hen, and she comes in crying and hugs him because she has fallen in love with the replacement Junior.
I love you.
She begs them not to do this, but they take her away from him forcefully while she is kicking and screaming. They take her outside and inject replacement Junior with something. People in full-body suits then come in to take him back. She tries to fight them, but she can't stop them. The real Junior watches on while all of this is happening. The company wanted to create a real human connection using their AI clones, but they've gone too far, and it started experiencing love. Terrence tells him everything, but the replacement believes this is his real life. The people congratulate Terrence on this scientific human breakthrough as they take replacement Junior away. The next day, Hen is helping the real Junior get in the tub since he's struggling with getting used to gravity again. They go to bed together, but things don't feel right. Later on, she watches him work outside. They're having dinner, but things still feel awkward. He finally asks her why she would let herself get close to the AI clone. She doesn't see it as an affair because she saw him in the clone and fell in love with him all over again. He doesn't care about that because it wasn't real, but she says her feelings are real. She wants to leave this place with him, but he can't bring himself to leave his family farm. He tells her there is nothing out there for her, but this breaks her heart. Then suddenly they hear the rain falling. She runs outside and it's real, the rain is finally here. She goes to get him to celebrate with her, but he stumbles and falls in the mud.
I don't need your help.
He doesn't want her to touch him and leaves her in the rain, and she's devastated. She's playing her piano, but she stops and comes back with a shovel and destroys it. The next morning, he calls out for her, but all he finds is a blank letter. He goes to work, and Terrence comes by with a bottle of wine to check in on them, only to find the house deserted and the piano destroyed. Junior goes to the diner to find Hen, but she's not there either. Time passes as Junior lives alone, still hoping to find her again. He is crying at the dinner table, but then she walks in as the lights of a vehicle flash outside. They proceed to have a nice dinner and go upstairs to get intimate. But this isn't the real Hen. The real Hen is on a plane, leaving her old life forever, and this is how the movie ends. If you enjoyed this recap, please like and subscribe and check out some of the other recaps on the screen. Thanks for watching.